There fell upon his ears the sound of numerous voices singing in front of the house. Among these, two made themselves prominent by their peculiarity. One was a very strong bass, the other a wheezy, thin piping. Thomasin recognized them as belonging to Timothy Fairway and Grandfer Cantle, respectively. "What does it mean? It is not skimmity riding, I hope," she said, with a frightened gaze at Wild Eve. "Of course not. No, it is that the heath folk have come to sing us a welcome. This is intolerable." He began pacing about, the men outside singing cheerily. "He told her that she was the joy of his life, and if she'd consent he would make her his wife. She could not refuse him to church, so they went. Young Will was forgot, and young Sue was content, and then she was kissed and set down on his knee. No man in the world was so loving as he." Mrs. Yeobright burst in from the outer room. "Thomasin, she said, looking indignantly at Wild Eve. "Here's a pretty exposure. Let us escape at once. Come." It was, however, too late to get away by the passage. A rugged knocking had begun upon the door of the front room. Wild Eve, who had gone to the window, came back. "Stop," he said imperiously, putting his hand upon Mrs. Yeobright's arm. "We are regularly besieged. There are 50 of them out there, if there's one. You stay in this room with Thomasin. I'll go out and face them. You must stay now, for my sake, till they are gone, so that it may seem as if all was right. Come, Tamsy dear, don't go making a scene. We must marry after this. That you can see as well as I. Sit still, that's all, and don't speak much. I'll manage them, blundering fools." He pressed the agitated girl into a seat, returned to the outer room, and opened the door. Immediately outside in the passage appeared Grandfer Cantle, singing in concert with those still standing in front of the house. He came into the room and nodded abstractedly to Wild Eve, his lips still parted, and his features excruciatingly strained in the omission of the chorus. This being ended, he said heartily, "Here's welcome to the new-made couple, and God bless 'em." "Thank you," said Wild Eve, with dry resentment, his face as gloomy as a thunderstorm. At the Grandfer's heels now came the rest of the group, which included Fairway, Christian, Sam the turf-cutter, Humphrey, and a dozen others. All smiled upon Wild Eve, and upon his tables and chairs likewise, from a general sense of friendliness towards the articles as well as towards their owner.